Hello and welcome to this clinical hypnotherapy session for overcoming misokinesia. This session is designed to help your unconscious mind begin to respond differently to those small repetitive movements that once may have captured your attention just a little too sharply and a little too intensely. Maybe it's been the sight of someone tapping a foot, moving their fingers, clicking a pen, or making some repeated motion that seems to pull your attention in before you've even decided to notice it. And when the mind notices something too strongly, it can sometimes make that thing seem far more important than it really is. But importance can be reduced, intensity can be softened, and your attention can become flexible again. Your attention belongs to you, and while the eyes may see movement, the mind can learn to let that movement remain only movement, just a neutral signal in the background, a passing detail, a tiny part in a much wider image. Now, you may have noticed that the more you try not to notice something, the more the mind can seem to lock onto it. And that tells us something useful. It means the mind is already powerful and it's been focusing very strongly. And that same power can now be redirected. Like turning down a brightness setting or moving the sound into a distance, or allowing a small ripple on a pond to settle back into the surface of the water. This session isn't about forcing yourself to tolerate everything at once. It's about allowing your unconscious mind to become calmer, more selective, more discerning. And you can begin to discover that someone else's movement doesn't have to become your reaction. Their fidgeting can belong to them, your calm can belong to you. And in a few moments, as you begin to relax, you can allow your mind to start learning how good it feels to look, to notice, to soften, and then to let go. And so now you can settle into a place where you can relax undisturbed for a while and take a few moments to become more comfortable. And now take in a slow, easy breath. Hold it for a moment and then let it out slowly. And now just allow your eyes to rest on one point just for a moment. It doesn't matter what spot you choose, a point on the wall, a shadow, simply the comfortable darkness behind closed eyes when they're ready to close. And as you focus there, you can notice that your eyelids already know how to blink, to soften, grow heavier, and relax. In a moment, I'll ask you to close your eyes and relax those eyelids so completely that as long as you choose to keep that relaxation there, they simply won't want to open. And so now let those eyes close and relax those tiny muscles around the eyelids. Smooth them out, soften them. Let them become loose, heavy and comfortable. And when you know those eyelids are relaxed enough that they'd rather stay closed, just test them gently and find that they remain wonderfully relaxed. That's good. And you can stop testing now and send that relaxation out through the face, smoothing the forehead, down into the cheeks and the jaw, through the neck and across the shoulders, down the arms, flowing over the elbows into the hands and fingers. Let the chest relax, the stomach and back relax even more, allowing that gentle, calm feeling to flow down over the hips, the legs, into the ankles and the feet, all the way down to the tips of the toes. And now take another long, slow breath in. And as you breathe out, double that relaxation. Let it become twice as deep. And again, take another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, allow the body to become twice as calm. And now as I count down from 5 to 1, with each number allow the mind to become quieter, softer, more distant from ordinary thinking. 5, drifting down now. 4, deeper. 3, the calm spreading. 2, the thoughts slowing. And 1, deeply relaxed. And every sound, every pause, every breath can take you deeper into this useful inner focus. And as you rest here, listening to my words and the spaces between the words, your mind can soften and your focus can ease. And just imagine in a way that's right for you that you're standing at the top of a wide, gentle staircase. And down at the bottom of the staircase is a place of deep inner quiet. A place where the nervous system can rest, the mind can sort, soften and learn. There are 10 steps down, and with each step down you can relax twice as deeply. 10. Stepping down now, the body becoming heavier and lighter at the same time. 9. A wave of calm moving from the top of the head, down through the face, the shoulders, the arms, the chest, stomach, legs and feet. 8. It feels like warm water flowing slowly through every muscle. 7. The outside world fading into the background. 6. background becoming peaceful, wide and open. 5, halfway down now. You might notice that thoughts can pass by without needing to be followed. 4, like leaves floating on a quiet stream. 3, every breath takes you deeper. 2, almost there. And 1, step down into that place of inner quiet. And as you arrive, you may find yourself in a calm garden, a sheltered room, a peaceful beach, or some private place where everything is arranged just for your comfort. In this place, there's space, there's distance, there's perspective. And in front of you is a pool of clear water. Its surface is smooth and reflective. And if a tiny leaf falls into it, there may be a ripple. But the whole pool doesn't become the ripple. It remains the pool. Still, deep and clear. And your mind can learn from that pool. A movement may appear, a tiny ripple may be noticed. And then the calm remains larger than the ripple. The whole remains larger than the part. And you can go deeper now. And now, while you remain comfortably relaxed, your unconscious mind can begin making useful adjustments. Some while ago, I bought a motion-sensitive light. It was designed to notice movement in the dark. It helped a lot. It could spot a shifting branch, a passing animal, a sudden shadow. It was really useful. But over time, something went wrong. It became too sensitive. It began flashing brightly at every tiny motion. A curtain moving, a leaf trembling, a finger tapping, a foot shifting. It became tiring because of all the unnecessary flashing. I realized that I could adjust its sensitivity. It simply needed changing, a turn of the lens, a softening of the filter, a widening of the beam. And when the beam became wider, the small movements didn't disappear. They simply became a smaller part of the larger picture. And the lamp stopped flickering, stopped flashing, and became much more useful. And that's what your mind can do now. It can widen the beam, soften the sensitivity, let movement become background. You don't have to fight the movement. Fighting gives it importance. And you don't have to force yourself to ignore it, because forcing it gives it attention. Instead, you can notice and release. Notice and soften. Notice and return to yourself. Seeing a movement is not the same as needing to react to it. And your unconscious mind can separate those two things now. Seeing is only seeing. A foot moving is only a foot moving. A hand shifting is only a hand shifting. A repeated movement is just that, a repeated movement. It belongs over there, and your calm belongs in here. And the more you allow that distinction to settle, the more natural it becomes. Perhaps in the past, the mind made a quick old connection. Movement means irritation, tension, urgency. And now the mind can update that connection. Movement means background, means breath, means widen, means return to calm. And whether that calm begins as a small improvement or a surprising shift, your unconscious mind can build upon it. Now imagine a screen in front of you, and on that screen you can see a simple scene, perhaps a room, an office, a cafe, or another place where someone might make a repetitive movement. You're watching the scene from a comfortable distance. You are safe, calm, and separate. Somewhere in that scene, a person begins to move repetitively. A foot taps, fingers move, a leg jiggles. And as you watch from this comfortable distance, you can notice something new. The movement stays inside the screen. It doesn't come into you. It remains over there. And as it does so, you can breathe comfortably here. That's right. Now notice the whole screen, not just the movement. Notice the space around it, the colors, the shapes, the still objects. And as your attention expands, that movement becomes smaller. Not because it's vanished, but because your mind has become wider. And when your attention widens, irritation shrinks. When perception expands, reactions can settle. And when you remember that you're more than what you notice, you can feel free. Now let that image move further away, further and smaller. And you can imagine a dial beside the screen. This dial controls the intensity of the old reaction. It may have once been turned too high. Now place your hand on that dial in your mind and begin turning it down. From 10 to 9, from 9 to 8, 8 to 7, lower, 6, 5, 4, softer, 3, 2, 1. And perhaps below 1 there's a calm, neutral setting. A setting where the body understands this is not danger, this is not important, this does not need my energy. Set it there now, neutral, calm and free. And your unconscious mind can keep that setting. Now see yourself in a future situation. Watch yourself from the outside like watching a calm, capable version of you in a short film. There you are, noticing a repetitive movement nearby, and something different happens. The face remains relaxed, your shoulders stay loose, your breathing stays steady. Your attention widens naturally and you notice the movement briefly, and then your mind moves on. You look at something else, you listen to something else. You feel your feet on the floor and you remember yourself. And that old reaction simply doesn't have the same grip. Watch that now. See how composed you look. Notice how your body communicates. I am safe. I am calm. I can choose where attention goes. And that feels so good. Now drift into that future you. Become that you. Look through those eyes. Be in that scene. And if a movement appears somewhere in the edge of your awareness, let it remain at the edge. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to monitor it. You don't need to defeat it. You can simply let it be there while you are here. That's it. And now, silently within yourself, allow these words to settle deeply. I can see movement and remain calm. I can notice and let go. I can choose the wider scene and I can return to my breath. I allow other people's movements to belong to them. My attention belongs to me. My calm belongs to me. And there may be times when the old pattern tries to appear, because old patterns sometimes test whether they're still needed. And when that happens, you can respond with a quiet confidence. You can think, thank you, mind, but that's not needed now. Like a guard dog that once barked at every passerby, learning to rest on the porch, noticing without alarm, aware without agitation, calm because the home is safe. And you may find yourself surprised in the coming days, noticing that something which once bothered you now seems less important. You may notice a moment where you recover more quickly, or you may simply realize later that you handled something better than expected. Every calm moment counts, every softer response counts. And every time your attention returns to you, the new pathway strengthens. And from now on, when you notice repetitive movement, a natural part of you can pause, breathe, soften, widen, and return to calm. And you can enjoy the quiet power of knowing that your attention belongs to you. And now it's time to bring this session to a close. In a few moments I'll count from 1 to 5. And when I reach 5, you'll open your eyes, returning to ordinary waking awareness, feeling calm, clear, grounded and refreshed. And before you return, just allow your unconscious mind to gather together all the useful learnings from this session. The ability to notice movement as movement and nothing more. And let those learnings settle in exactly to the right places within. And now, beginning to return. 1. Becoming a little more aware of the body resting here. 2. Bringing back a comfortable sense of energy, a calm steadiness through the chest and stomach. 3. Taking a deeper breath now, the mind becoming clearer, lighter, more awake. 4. Feeling present, grounded and balanced. And 5. Eyes open when you're ready, wide awake, calm and refreshed. And as you return, you can bring with you that sense that something has already begun to shift. You may not need to know exactly how, you may not need to measure it too carefully. You can simply notice in the days ahead those moments when your mind responds with more space, more ease, and more choice. And from this moment forward, whenever you notice a small repetitive movement, some calm and intelligent part of your mind can quietly say, "That belongs over there. My calm is here." And with that thought, even if it's only a subtle feeling, your breath can become easier, your shoulders can soften, your attention can widen and your mind can return to what truly matters. And each time this happens, the new response strengthens. Notice, soften, widen, and return. And the more naturally you return to yourself, the more confidence you can feel in ordinary situations. Knowing that movement can remain movement, background can remain in the background, and calm can remain yours. Thank you for joining me on this session today and for taking this time to relax, focus inwardly, and allow your unconscious mind to begin making these useful changes. Let the benefits continue to unfold gently and naturally in the hours and days ahead. And you can return to this session whenever you wish to deepen and strengthen this new calm response. And until next time, goodbye and good mental health.